Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are doing great. I hope that life is treating you well, and I hope that you're in good health. I hope that everything is pleasant for you and your family. And most importantly, I hope that you're in good health. Once again, my friends, welcome to the Common Sense channel. On this channel, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have thought about, but don't often have the time to discuss. These, my friends, are the things we talk about here on the Common Sense channel. So once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. Today, I want to talk to you about gullible people. And I think this is one of our major problems in the world with people who are gullible. And it's always been my prayer for the eyes of mankind to open. So once your eyes are open, you get to see those factors, those elements that are using you as nothing but pawns, or nothing but slaves, or nothing but minions, or nothing but football. So today I want to give you some factors that shows that you're gullible. By you not knowing these factors, you wouldn't be able to understand whether or not you are gullible. So in order for you to understand that someone is playing with your mind, someone is playing on your intelligence, or someone is playing with your personality, you have to know these factors in order to understand that you, my friends, are not gullible or vulnerable to people whose intentions are to prey on your intelligence. And I know all people that are gullible. And I know we are not inherently gullible, but sometimes it's a human condition. Sometimes it's something that we allow, or something we choose not to see, or something that we know but we just don't care, or something that we just say, hey, I've given up and let it be, or let whatever happen happens. But I don't think we're inherently gullible. So for this video, I just want to show you a few areas that would alert you to know that, hey, you've been played, or you've been taken for a ride, or you have been taken to the car wash for clean or for cleanup, or you've been taken to the barber shop to have your hair cut, or you've been taken around the loop. Either way, I want to point out these areas to you to show that you, my friend, are gullible. So check these areas out. I'm going to read them. I don't often do these, but I just want to read these areas because I want to be specific with this video. So how do you know you're gullible? You often take things at face value. You know what that means, right? So basically, when you see things, you don't really want to know whether it's true or not. It's like buying pig in the bag without even knowing what's in the bag. You know what I mean? So that taking things at face value. Secondly, you're easy to be persuaded. If you ever find yourself easy to be persuaded, when someone is saying something to you, you're quick to say, oh, I agree, or I think this is true, without questioning anything, you're gullible. Second, the third reason that shows that you're gullible, if you have difficulty saying no. If you're someone that cannot say no to anything, even if you know that thing is at your detriment, or not right to you or for you or not good for your health, and you can't even say no to it, you, my friend, is gullible. Another reason, another reason to know that you're gullible, if you're prone to believing conspiracy theory, if you're prone to believe in conspiracy theory, you, my friend, is gullible. So what did they say? So you might be drawn to unverified or substantiated claims, especially if they seem sensational or provocative. So anything that makes you happy, you're just gonna go by the flow. You're not gonna question anything. You're just gonna be like, hey, this true, it's factual. If you ever find yourself in that situation, my friend, you is gullible. And next, and the last on my list is, if you ever been scammed or deceived before? If you ever been someone that's been scammed or deceived over anything for any reason in the past, you, my friend, is gullible. So these 5 reasons that I listed are reasons that shows that you, my friend, is gullible. So you see, it's always good that some of the reason why I do these videos on the Common Sense channel is just to throw light on issues, on things that people can look at and say, you know what, let me focus on these areas. Let me see what I can do to prevent myself, because there are a lot of people out there. I'm telling you, a lot of people, they've established an entire industries on this aspect of human condition or human development. And the main goal of these industries is just to prey on your intelligence. It doesn't mean that you're stupid or you don't pay attention. It just means that you've let yourself loose to the point where reality doesn't make sense to you. That you're looking at reality from a different lens. You know, if you ever find yourself looking at reality from a different lens, or from a point of reality where you're supposed to look at things for what they are, not at face value, but to look at things the way they are, the way society present them to you, and be a little bit skeptical and be a little bit understanding of your environment and paying attention to things. Because in my own views, rule number 1 and survival number 1 is know that environment. Knowing your environment is the first survival mechanism. In my view now, there are others, but in my view, know that environment is number 1 survival mechanism. So once you know these arrows, because whatever I've given you right now is just the 5 arrows or elements that show that you are vulnerable. Now I'm going to give you a remedy on how to deal with your vulnerability. So let's go. A 5, or maybe let me just say, yes, 5. 5 measures you can take to deal with your gullibility or vulnerability, wherever. I think gullibility and vulnerability is the same thing, because people will use these. I mean, people who are trying to prey on you, especially scammers, they will use that, and they know how to kind of groom you, you know. Even politicians will groom you if they notice that you're vulnerable. Pastors will do the same thing, groom you. If they know you're vulnerable, if they know that you're gullible, they will groom you. So that grooming process, sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes years to get you to that point. And once you're fully groomed, there is absolutely nothing anyone can do to help you from that moment on, once you're fully grown, that's the stage where I think I want to say this, but if you hear it, don't feel like I'm insulting to you or anything like that. I think at that moment or at that stage or at that level, it's a mental illness because you are not looking at reality. Even it's at the detriment of your own health, your own safety, your own well being. You wouldn't see the reality that someone is taking you at the loop or is taking you to the dry cleaner. You won't see that because you're not looking at reality. And I believe that gullibility is a form of mental illness. I think. I think. It can be, maybe someone can dispute that or disagree with that, but I think at that moment where you're fully grown and you do not see reality, at that moment you are experiencing some mental illness. So now let me give you some tool you can use to counteract the five elements that I explained to you that shows that you're gullible if you find yourself in that. So now you must first, in order to prevent yourself from seeing things at face value or buying a pig in a bag without knowing what's in the bag, you must start to practice what we call critical thinking. You know, critical thinking take time to evaluate information. So, in order to practice critical thinking, you must take your time to evaluate things. Do not just rush into judgment about things. Don't just do things quickly because you're trying to find a solution. Think about it thoroughly and make sure that whatever decision you're making, you've thought about them and you've come to a conclusive decision. So that would be you thinking critically. And you're considering not just one source, you're considering multiple sources. And then you're using evidence too. As you make the decision using evidence based on your own understanding of reality regarding that situation that you are trying to decipher or make decision on. You must always verify information. Not every information that you see somewhere, especially on social media, on the internet, there are a host of informations on the internet. Not all of them are credible. Just like the people you see out in the world, not everyone is credible. People may present themselves to you in a different way. So how do you filter out the the information that's credible and the ones that are not credible? In order to do that, you have to be critical. You have to think critically, and you have to use evidence-based thinking process to be able to process these things to make sure that that information you are gathering is verified and is credible. The next on the list is you have to be curious with strangers. Curious with strangers. Not everything you see that glitters is gold. There are certain things out there that may present itself to you as credible, as reliable, as trustworthy, but they are not. So you have to, again, your critical thinking hat, you should be able to put that on in order to understand these things, to be able to understand who is on your side and who is against you. These are just measure you need to take, remedy that you need to take to solve your vulnerability, because this is serious. This is really, really serious. Gullibility is a serious disease. Millions of people are suffering from this out there. And you don't want to be a victim to anything out there. I just seen one time on the news some lady was crying because some dudes took over all her life savings, money that she's put aside her entire life working, and now in her old age, someone just scam her of that. And it's real, you know. So you have to be curious whenever you're with strangers about who they are, what their intentions are, what you're trying to accomplish around you, and what you're trying to do with you. So that's one thing you need to pay attention if you're gullible. The second one, develop a healthy dose of skepticism. There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. So if you're somebody that's gullible or vulnerable, you have to be skeptical whenever you are around people, wherever you're dealing with someone that you don't know. That could be a stranger. You have to be skeptical about everything that you associate with, everything that you deal with, every interaction that you're doing. You have to be skeptical. And it's a good mechanism too. Being skeptical is a good thing. It doesn't matter who that person is. You have to be skeptical whenever you're dealing with someone. Whatever form you're dealing with that person, you have to be skeptical. The next thing, you have to learn from your mistakes. And this is one of the things that people fail to understand. They bring this into a relationship too. There are people that would bring this into a relationship. I've seen this a lot in relationship, where a woman would be with a guy. She's been to one relationship, and the same thing happened to her. That person came, use her, abuse her, and then walk away. And then in less than no time, she gets another relationship. The same thing happens to her, and she still didn't learn from the first one, and then goes into a third relationship. So at some point, you have to look in the mirror. You have to look in the mirror and say, something is wrong with me. And that's what I'm talking to you about today, that I call gullibility. It's easier for anyone looking at you, because to understand yourself, you have to look in the mirror. And whatever you see in the mirror, that's you. Okay, now when you see that stuff in the mirror, whatever it is, that image, that's you. When you go out into the world, those people that are looking at you, the image that you saw in the mirror that morning that looks like you, that's what people see and more. So if you are someone who is vulnerable, or someone who is gullible, someone who understands human behavior and human thinking process, will quickly pick up your vulnerability. And when they do, they will prey on you. So I think all of the elements that I give you right now, my own practical and empirical understanding of the self, would be to tell you every morning before leaving your house, stand in front of the mirror, look at yourself for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and say to yourself, looking in the mirror, say, this is me. That's me right there. How are you, sir? How are you, ma'am? I know we are going to face the world today, and we are going to make it. We are ready to take down whatever is in our way. No weakness, no vulnerability, no gullibility. My strength lies in my ability to walk out of this house or this apartment today as a winner. And that's what you need to tell yourself every day. So that way, when you're out in the world and you're being faced with the challenges that comes with being among the living, you can tackle these challenges knowing that the images or the image that you once spoke to is you, and that you is stronger than anyone or anything trying to prey on your intelligence. Because I think if we can start to do that, this world will be a better place, because most of us will be able to see between the lies, the hooks, and all the people that are trying to get us to believe the world is fine and beautiful, or all the people that are trying to make us believe that their cause, we must fight for their cause, and then leaving ours behind, that whatever they want us to fight for, that we must fight for that instead of fighting for ourselves. And when our own problems are just piling up and theirs are going forward, don't allow yourself to be anyone's puppet. Don't allow yourself to be used by anyone out there. There are plethora, of praise out there. There are plethora of people. Their entire industry set up for you, waiting for you, gullible people, to prey on your intelligence. Don't allow them. There are a couple of institutions, some of you know them. They've abused you, they've used you, they've dumped you, and now you're nothing. They saw your emotion and they grab it. They use it to their advantage. Some of them are millionaires, some of them are billionaires because of your vulnerability or your gullibility. It's time for you to wake up. Wake up. There's no sleeping in bed. You know, if you're a teacher, teach well. If you're a lawyer, represent your client well. If you're an ordinary man, wake up to reality. You know, whatever it is you're doing out there, whether you're a business owner, wake up to reality. Don't allow no one, absolutely no one, to use, misuse, and abuse you, because they notice that you did not look at that mirror in the morning before leaving your house to see the image that was you, and give yourself pats on the shoulder and say, I'm ready to take on anything, that I'm a winner. I'm not a victim. I'm not someone's prey. You know? So that's what this video is. This video is for vulnerable people or gullible people. Gullible people. Gullible people. Do not allow yourself to be used by those industries out there. Whether they're a race hustler, capitalist hustler, industrialist hustler, political hustler, religious hustler, whatever these hustlers are, don't let them hustle you. Don't let them prey on your intelligence, because I know you're smart. We can turn this world around. Simple. Looking in the mirror and looking at what's in it. And whatever is in that mirror is you. Just say those few words to yourself, and that's all you need. And then the power which is embedded in you will come out. Don't give your power or your strength to anyone, no entity. The power and strength that you need to survive in this world lies within you and no one else. I'm not saying that there's not an external power, but the bulk of the power that you are looking for, my friends, is in you. It lies in you, deep in you. You just need to bring it out. And don't allow again. And don't allow no one absolutely no one, don't care who they are, to turn you into their puppet or their minions, because they know the psychological thinking process of you. If they can look into your mirror, before you looking into that mirror, and pull out the you and wrap it up in a nice design's cloth and present it to you as a history of you. Only you can write your chapter. And when you write your chapter, no one can change a page, not even a sentence of your chapter. So, my video, the reason for this video, simple, just to present a message of strength, a message that talks about gullibility, a message that would empower you to see between the lines so that you are not someone's puppet or someone's toy to just toss, move around however, without you seeing. Some of the people that are preying on you, you'll never see them. But because they know the way you think, the way you react, the way you behave, they understand your behavior. And they're not even in your house, but they understand how you think based on your interaction. And these individuals are waiting for you out there. So once again, I want to thank you, all those people that watch my videos. I want to also thank those people that are continuing to subscribe to my channel. I want to thank everyone over the time that I've been doing my videos and up to now. I want to thank you for keep watching and learning. And also, I want to thank everyone for their support, and I greatly appreciate it. And as I've always said in all of my videos, and we'll say it again, the greatest thing that can happen to any man or woman, it's not the day you were born, not the day you had your first car, you had your first child, or you graduated from high school, college, none of that stuff. The greatest thing that can happen to anyone, my friends, is the day you discover yourself. Because from that moment on, everything, absolutely everything will start to make sense to you. Everything. You will lack nothing. You will understand when someone is trying to use you as a puppet, or if someone trying to abuse you, if someone trying to misuse you, if someone is trying to dump you, if someone is trying to take you for the loop, if someone is trying to take you to the dry cleaner, if someone is trying to take you for a joke, disrespect you, humiliate you, you, my friend, will understand. You wouldn't allow yourself to be used as a joke or abused. So once again, thank you. Thank everyone. I appreciate you, and I hope that you are safe, and I hope that life is treating you well, and I hope that you and your family are in good health. Thank you so much, and have a pleasant day.